our local Las Vegas. Fox 5 News starts now.
I've never beat anybody up. I've never killed anybody. I didn't kill Mr. Gurman. And that's my testimony.
Robert Tellis continues to claim his innocence in the murder of Review Journal investigative reporter Jeff Gehrman nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah, Tellis back on the stand, testifying in his own murder trial today, and right now being cross-examined.
Our Victoria Saha has been monitoring everything that is developing in the courtroom, and she has those details.
Yeah, Tellis has been on the stand being questioned by prosecutors for over an hour and a half, going through various evidence. Let's go ahead and take a listen in.
Hard in July.
So after the election loss, I ended up, so I guess just back up a little bit. When Mike Murphy came into the office, it was not a directive from Clark County. It was a request. Jeff Wells said, hey, you know, you've got this situation. I think, you know, maybe if we bring in Mr. Murphy, he could help you kind of be an independent, you know, arbiter of sorts. And he said that, you know, you don't have to say yes. This is not, you know, we have no right to force this on you. It's entirely up to you. And I said, you know what, sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. So brought him in. But then again, that got misconstrued, which is, it is what it is at this point. But so once I lost the election, he and Rita had taken over the duties primarily, and I did, you know, most of my work from home, coming in a couple of days a week, just to, you know, do things here and there.
Okay, so to go back to my question, was July hard? Yes or no?
I guess my answer would be not as. I didn't have to deal with the first, you know, the day-to-day frustrations I used to.
So just to give you a little bit of background info, Gehrman had written a series of articles about Tellis, most recently in May of 2022. Tellis, you just heard from him there talking about how he lost the primary elections. That happened June of 2022, and then Gehrman was found murdered in September of that year. Tellis has always said he was framed and he was waiting for this trial to take the stand and tell his side of the story. And now he says it was a professional assassin who stabbed Gehrman to death. From the beginning, we knew the evidence here was overwhelming, and Tellis claims it was planted. Throughout his testimony, Tellis has just been freely talking about how he didn't murder Gehrman, and now he has to answer some tough questions from the prosecutors about the evidence and how they got there.
You believe that professional assassins want to draw attention to themselves when they're carrying out murder. That's your testimony?
When they're framing someone, yes, sir.
We know a professional killer killed someone in broad daylight, made it a point to park on a completely different street, but then for some reason decided, oops, I forgot something, and drove all the way back.
My belief is that he wanted to make sure to commit the crime, and then when he was done, he wanted to make sure the SUV was seen in front of the house.
And underneath your couch is a shoe, and a chopped up shoe, right?
Right.
It's the same shoe, isn't it?
It is potentially the same shoe as the one, yes.
And you're saying now that it's just a pure coincidence that the exact same type of shoe sitting underneath your couch in your house with your DNA on it, that's not the shoe?
Again, I didn't commit the murder, so.
Again, I want to mention, Tellis did not have to testify. Our viewers may not know this, but it is a defendant's constitutional right. And we heard from the judge earlier this week asking Tellis about testifying and reminding him that he doesn't have to take the stand. And now that he is, it is fair game for prosecutors to grill him with their questions.
Yeah, well, Victoria, he took the stand anyway, like we just saw. And the thing that's always stuck out to us about this case is police saying early on Tellis's DNA was found underneath Gehrman's fingernails, and that recently came up. What was his reaction?
Yeah, the DNA under the fingernails has always been a focus of this trial, and we knew from the beginning that that's what police had found. It did come up various times throughout the last couple of days throughout this trial, and the prosecutors also just cross-examined him about it, asking him. Tellis claimed he didn't know how it got there, and again, he said that was another piece of evidence that was planted.
Maria, we also heard Tellis talking for quite some time. There was some questions from the defense, but we didn't hear from his defense attorney. Why was that?
Yeah, so I noticed that yesterday as well when he started to talk, and I tried to ask my sources as well about this, and they tell me that this is what they call testimony by narrative. Tellis didn't have to testify, and you didn't hear much from Draskovic at all asking him a question. That is because my sources tell me this happens when a defense attorney probably thinks that their client testifying may hurt their case, so they just stand back and let them say what they have to say.
All right, Victoria, thank you. And Fox 5 will continue following the developments in the courtroom, and we'll have the latest updates. You can catch live streams in court on our website, fox5vegas.com, and for free on the Fox 5 Vegas news app.